Hello and welcome to My 11th Circle presents Cricbuzz Live. West Indies have won the first one-day international, the first of three that are going to be played in this series. And they've won it rather definitively. They've won it quite comprehensively with 8 wickets, in fact, still in hand. But Shai Hope, the opener, still not out, getting a century, of course. And then Shimron Hetmyer, the star of the show today, 139 of 106 deliveries. Big partnership between Hope and Hetmyer. And for India, well, no hope at all, none for the bowlers. Nothing really to hang on by. And really, if you look at the second half of the game, it didn't look like India was threatening at any point in time. West Indies pretty much looked in control of that chase. I have Joy and Simon here with me. Fair to say that, Simon?
Absolutely fair. Brilliant chase, I thought. Well timed, well manufactured. When you've got a guy that only strikes at 67 strike rate in Shai Hope.
But with an average of...
Yeah, but this is what we were talking about. It's exactly what the West Indies need from Shai Hope, because the power that is around him in the likes of Hetmyer, Ambrose went early, Nicholas Pooran, Pollard to come, there's plenty of power around him. If he continues to do that, they chase down a score of just under 300 with ease.
Yeah.
Absolute ease, and he went at 67 strike rate. So, a brilliant performance. The concerning thing, I think, would be the Indian bowling.
The Indian bowling and the fact that India decided to play one bowler less. You weren't playing 5 full-time bowlers and paid the price today.
Paid the price today. Have a look. I was also fairly surprised to see that, Kedar Jadhav may not be having a good day, but you give him 1 over and you don't try him again. There's something there. I feel that, it's easy to say hindsight is 20/20 vision and say that we didn't, try enough things, but somewhere...
But it's true.
The Indian captain looked out of ideas. That's the only thing. And I think this is the one weakness we've seen. It's not that, every idea that you try works out. But, you'd be happier to see, okay, he's tried that, okay, it hasn't worked. And maybe we weren't noticing close enough, but he didn't look as if he had too many ideas and too many things he was changing around there. He was not talking that much to his players. So,
he's becomes a boundary rider after like over 15 anyway. Can't really talk to too many people there because got nobody.
Yeah, that's true.
There's nobody around.
Yeah, they bowled all but 9 overs for 79 runs. The fifth bowler.
Yeah.
I know Shivam Dubey bowled 7.5 of those and only 1 for Kedar Jadhav. But, 79 runs. There was a bit of spin on offer, but Kuldeep and Ravi Jadeja caused no issues whatsoever. That was probably the concerning thing. All the commentators talked about the lack of dew. There wasn't any dew. The ball didn't get wet, damp. Yet West Indies made it look very, very simple.
Yeah, so you're right. Did notice the commentators were saying there's no dew. Normally is in Chennai at this point in time. They're saying they weren't. Kuldeep was getting prodigious turn at some point in time. In fact, that LBW appeal, by the way, we were talking about love for the DRS a little while earlier. The way that ball turned, I think even Kuldeep's expression was, I haven't turned the ball that much in 2 years. How's DRS turned it for me? That's pitching outside off and then missing leg.
It's a big one.
Come on. Come on, DRS.
He bowled a few that pitched on the stumps and were given wide. So there was plenty of turn on offer.
Yeah.
And then Jadeja's very quick through the air, isn't he? He's very quick. He doesn't allow it to turn too much.
Was he pitching it too short to Hetmyer? Was he worried with...
Way too short.
Yeah.
If you get hit down the ground, downtown, you can accept that as a spin bowler or as a coach or as a mentor, whatever. If your spin bowler's getting hit down the ground, that's okay.
Yeah.
But when he's getting hit square of the wicket because he's short, not good enough.
Yeah.
Also, the thing about Hetmyer is he's prodigiously strong on his back foot as well. Yeah. A lot of other guys, when they loft, they go out and loft. He sits back and lofts from there. So he has the strength to power it from the back. And that means that length to him is a slightly more difficult thing. He doesn't need the strength he has and his lower body strength here, glutes. He doesn't need to dance down the track to hit you out of the ground. And that's a big thing because as a spinner, then your options are limited. He's not taking those chances. He's not going to run at you and you suddenly fire it down for a stumping,
Yep.
And that's one thing that power of his compensates for. And that's really useful. So once he started getting into Jadeja, because see, the way India plays and seems to be playing fairly successfully, and give them credit, they've done it in the past, is basically you put on a lot of runs, you choke them, batsmen run out of ideas, they get wickets. It's not as if we do whiz-bang changes. So
you're waiting for unforced errors?
You're waiting to have the run pressure on them, unforced errors, and win. That's a Virat formula.
And when you don't get those unforced errors like today, you can't seem to press on. There was no pressing. There was a time when Hope is batting at a strike rate of 60 or 65 and everybody's back at the boundary for him.
Yeah, exactly. And also plans. to me, look, it's a one-off game, and we don't need to dissect it too much. But there's two things you don't.
But we must.
There's two things you don't do.
It is our moral duty to do so.
Okay, you don't bowl short.
Yeah.
And whether you're a spinner or a seamer, and you do not go around the wicket. What bowlers going around the wicket to Shimron Hetmyer? Oh, here, mate. Here's a plate. Here's a plate with some lovely dosa and some goodies on it. Just have it and eat it.
Yeah.
And keep eating it.
And happy birthday.
Stay over the wicket. If you're going to roll the fingers across it and go away from him and make him hit offside. Yes, he can hit offside, but he's nowhere near as strong.
Yeah.
Do not go around the wicket and bowl into his zone, into his hitting arc, and bowl short. Go over the wicket, take it away, take it across him, and set your field accordingly on the offside. I don't think the plans were put in place, and they certainly weren't executed.
I'll tell you one thing about Shimron Hetmyer, though. We were talking before the chase began. We said Hetmyer and Puran should take a leaf out of Rishabh Pant's book and play a different game. He just took the whole book. Took everything.
There's no leaves left.
Yeah. So all the leaves are gone. He took them all.
I'll ask you one more question. It's a great thing that we keep chopping and changing, and we have had injuries. Bhuvi's gone down and Bumrah's gone down. But look at the Indian bowling attack right now. Okay, which one of these is saying, I'm a sure shot bowling option?
Okay.
Not Shami, because he's just made his comeback. He's not been considered really. His test match bowling, he's not been considered for the shorter version of the game. Plays the World Cup, doesn't this thing. Look at this one. Kuldeep Yadav, he's making a comeback. Chahal is looking over his shoulder because India seems to be playing one-leggy.
Yeah, I still think they should be playing Kulcha together.
Yeah.
Correct.
Play them.
So here's the problem. Nobody there is so secure about his plays that he'll take chances.
I mean, today
everyone's bowling a bit tentatively.
Yeah, well, fair point. And also, do you need? That the West Indies doesn't have the strongest bowling lineup in the world.
Do you need to bat till 8?
Do you need to bat till 8?
Well, that's their issue, isn't it? It's a safety net, and it's always been the way with India in the last few years. Even at the World Cup, they wanted a safety net. They wanted Jadeja. They want a bowler who can bat, and they'll get that in a genuine all-rounder, obviously when Hardik Pandya is back, but pick Kuldeep and pick Chahal as well.
Yeah.
I think if you've got your two best spinners, your two wicket-taking spinners, that's what you want.
The other thing was, we never put pressure at both ends. Even when Jadeja had one good over from one side, somebody went for runs on the other. Getting pressure together, one good over, okay, let's get 2-3 over. Yeah. That's how you get pressure. 2-3 good overs together, stop the singles, get in the field. Okay, you get hit for 6, you get hit for 6. See, the other thing was, you're down to about 65. They're chasing 6.57. There's no point having boundary riders.
Yeah, there was not enough attack. There was not enough attack. See, at that point in time, you're so right. You've got 70 of 70. You've got 8, maybe 9 wickets in hand. The only way you can win is if you attack. You're not going to win defensive at that point in time with a runner ball with 8 in the shed.
There's no point giving singles to long on. You have to have mid on there and try and stop it. Let him hit over your head if he has to.
We're sounding a little bit up against India. Let's give credit to Shai Hope.
No, we're giving credit to Hope and Hetmyer for sure. We've given them credit.
Well. Because I think I'm probably sounding a little bit in India's face. These guys played brilliantly. I mean, they both batted brilliantly. They put every opportunity that they got. They put away. They didn't panic at all.
Look at that partnership.
When you
That's going to be a record, right?
Yeah. When a guy strikes at 67 and his partnership is 218 off 208.
Yeah, that's the beauty.
That is what a partnership is.
He's liberating the other guy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he's saying, look, mate, I'm going to be here at the end. You do what you do. Do what you got to do. And I'm going to be here at the end for us.
This is exactly what we spoke about, right? When we said Shai Hope will handle the spinners.
Yeah.
And you said if he's around that long, and I said, well, if he's around towards the end, then they're definitely winning the game.
Yep.
And that's exactly what he did. He came in with that intention, because even in the power play, even with all the fielders up, he was batting at a run per 2 balls, even then, because he knew what his mind was. Have a look at the innings progression for West Indies and you'll understand, because they lost the opener early, of course, got in the first 10. And then barely any run rate in the first 10 overs, 3.6, and then slowly building up after Hetmyer and Hope start playing together, and just progressively keeps going up. You notice that upward trend
never stopped going up
through the entire thing, and that's what happens when you've got wickets in hand.
Yeah, and it's what happens when you've got a guy that you don't know is not going to get out. But you have trust in him, and that's exactly what Hetmyer had. He had trust in Shai Hope.
Yes,
and
you have more than hope in Hope.
Correct. I'm sure that's been used before.
Yeah. No. More than hope in Hope? Has it?
Or you hope against Hope. India was hoping against Hope.
That's nice. I like that. But there you go. If one guy's decided he's going to be there till the end,
Correct.
It liberates everyone. Look at the batting they had to come. still had Royston Chase, they had Karen Pollard, they had Jason Holder.
Pooran played a nice little innings at the end to finish things off. Like you say, Chase, Pollard. That's exactly what this West Indies team need to do, is build their team around this young power, the captain now at 5 or 6, and Shai Hope. If Shai Hope bats deep, they can bat with that power around him, and I mean, they can score anything.
And remember one thing, even Pollard can do the same. Pollard has a blocking mode as well.
Yes.
So if Hope goes early, Pollard is a blocker, those guys still hit around him, and that's going to be their formula. Just 2 blockers in this sort of guys who hold up one end of this thing.
Well, Holder's not too bad as well.
Holder can hold up.
Holder plays that game as well.
He'll hold one end up.
Yeah, he'll Holder. Oh, no.
Interesting.
Well, you've got the Hope one out. I mean, we had.
That's right. Yeah. No, I'm really no one to be commenting on anyone's puns. I really am not. Well, also about Hetmyer, let's talk about his fitness a little bit. We talk about his strength. Very, very strong young lad. These conditions were exacting conditions. Remember, you're playing in Chennai. You get really humid, really sapping. He had cramps. There was times when he was taking really deep breaths. You thought, that's it. Fuel's done. This car's going to be parked on the side of the road in another 2 minutes. That was when he was at about 40. So full credit to him. Through those cramps, being broken, being patched up, being fixed, salts, whatever you need, goes on to score 130 plus.
Also, it goes back to you, and I mean, nothing against the Indian openers, not the Indian openers, Pant and Iyer, but if those 70s had become 130s,
yes,
you possibly would have had a 300 on the board, not a 280.
Yeah, we also have to give credit to West Indies to choke India in the last few overs of the batting effort.
Yeah.
Right?
So absolutely.
We see that innings progression now, and we'll see what West Indies did to India. So they've totally outplayed India today.
The last 55, 60 overs belong to the West Indies.
Yeah, fair.
Of that game. You'd say the first 10 overs of their bowling belonged to the West Indies.
Yeah.
Then Rishabh Pant, Shreyas Iyer went through, and then the last sort of 50 overs, 72 for 3.
In the last 10, India's got 72 for sure, but in the last 5, it's far lesser.
Yeah, in the last 5, they just held them back enough to keep that score under that 290 mark, and I thought they did a terrific job.
Yeah, so West Indies today definitely far ahead. Shai Hope, the way he played, expected him to play that way, expected him to give the young guns the opportunity to express themselves while he sort of just clamps one end down, almost like illegal squatting is what he did.
It's not a good term to use nowadays. Not a good word to use nowadays, illegal squatting.
That is true, actually. I don't know what word is good to use these days. So every word is dangerous. But I'll tell you what words are not dangerous. My 11 circle, champion of the day. Nothing dangerous there. It's all good, bro. It's all good. His name is Sachin. There you go.
And that's a pretty good score. 458.75 is a serious score. But of course, you're playing 50 over cricket, so it's a bit higher.
Yeah.
But normally, we used to average the 310s, 315s in the other matches.
Done very well with that. Sachin Chauhan from Uttarakhand. Congratulations to you. We'll also have a look at our My 11 Circle ultimate team of the day. These are, of course, the top 11 performers. Out of them, your captain should definitely have been Shimron Hetmyer. No surprise there, of course. The highest scorer, getting the 4s and the 6s. Your vice captain should have been Shai Hope. I don't know too many people who would have done that, though. But if you did that, that would have been really good. Keeping a captain and a vice captain from the West Indies definitely was a Rohit or a Virat in one of the teams there. So maybe that's where you lost out. Maybe that's where Sachin didn't. So there you go. All right, so now questions. Lots and lots of questions for India, of course. For West Indies, let's get that out of the way first. West Indies will probably say, all right, I think we've checked all the boxes, especially where the batting is concerned. Does West Indies make any changes when they go to Vizag?
Well, I don't think you change a winning team.
Yeah.
I don't see...
You just shouldn't, right?
No, I don't see any reason to. All the bowlers were decent.
Yeah.
Hayden Walsh, I think, did a fair job today on a surface that didn't offer him a huge amount early on. I thought Alzari Joseph was brilliant. Chemo Paul into the side tonight. So both the two seamers that came in from the T20s did a decent job, and Sheldon Cottrell was good. Can't change any of the batters.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, maybe Brandon King coming in for Sunil Ambris if they really want to, but there's no real reason.
You've got to give a batsman at least one more chance.
Yeah, correct.
Match. See, the other thing is that they have really 3 all-rounders. I mean, you have Holder, Pollard and Chemo Paul who can bat. Yeah. You know, so that gives them, that's why they bowled 7 bowlers and none of their bowlers were too shabby.
Chase?
Yeah. 4.
Probably call him an all-rounder.
Yeah, you could.
Yes,
of course
you can.
A genuine bowler.
Yeah, it gives you 7-8 overs pretty much in every game. He really does.
So that's really, you're talking about 7 solid bowlers,
Yeah.
and that's probably the difference today.
Yeah, oh, well, you can make your team as well. And like you saw today, hey, don't know who you're going to choose captain, vice captain. Don't always go with Virat and Rohit. I know you're tempted emotionally to do it, but maybe not do it every time. My11circle.com, that's where you can download the app and, of course, choose the game that is going to be played on the 18th down in Vizag. Make your team, beat Dada, win 3 times more cash. Really as simple as that. Really simple.
Dada can't be that good. He's got other things to worry about.
Dada?
He's got so many more things to worry about than his My 11 Circle team.
No, he does. Dada can handle a lot more things
I know he
than any
can,
other
but
human being can.
There's a lot of things on his plate.
He's super Dada.
I know.
S on this shirt.
Yeah.
Big S.
Super Dada. Indians, of course, will be a little worried going into the next game. They seem to run short of ideas today. But the changes, will there be an ideological change? Are they going with 5 solid bowlers? 5 full-time, this is my day job, here's my visiting card, I'm a bowler first kind of bowlers.
I am, absolutely. They have to. They should.
Yep.
And the other thing they will worry about is the fact that, if they go and it's going to be a tight chase in any time, who are my death bowlers?
Okay.
With this current team, you don't really have death bowlers. I mean, frankly, Deepak Chahar is better up front. Shami was never a death bowler. That's not his, he's a wicket taker up front.
Yeah.
Okay. So that means that you're depending on Shivam Dube to bowl at the death for you, and that hasn't really panned out right now.
Yeah.
They say in Bombay he can bowl that accurate Yorker, but it really wasn't in evidence. And international cricket is very different. They clear their feet much faster. You have to be more accurate. So, that's the one thing that...
Shami's going to have to do it.
Yeah, Shami has to be.
Shami has to do it. I mean, he has to try.
At some point in time, he has to learn
exactly.
to do it.
He has to be the guy that takes on. He's the most senior of those bowlers. He has to be the guy that takes it on. And if it's Shivam Dube, then that's the case. And they play Chahal for Jadeja.
So if you see the all-rounders down centre of that squad that we show you, it's obviously one of them who's going to get the axe.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Chahal is going to come in from them. So your pick is Jadeja, you say?
Yeah, well, if they're going to bring Chahal in, I think they bring spinner for spinner. And leave Jadeja out. That would be my choice. And I mean, Kedar Jadhav batted well. I thought he finished the innings off quite nicely. So he's got to stay. He's there as a batsman and a part-time bowler. But bring Chahal in and make the bowlers do the work.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think you have to do that. You have to have 2 frontline spinners. And somewhere, spinners work for us. We've got to have spinners who bowl in tandem if they can. That's what's worked for India in the past, whether it's been Jadeja, Ashwin, whether it's been Kulcha for us. Good spinners bowling in tandem, putting pressure, getting overs fast through 4-5 overs, go suddenly you realize your run rate down. That's what's worked for India.
Yeah.
Let's not pretend to, fix what ain't broke, Let's go back. We have those players, they're sitting out there. Let's get them into the team.
Let's get them in the team. Well, okay. Kulcha. It's been a while since Kulcha played together. In fact, we might get those stats out and see how long it's been, because there was a time when they were just being spoken about, the same breath saying, you got to play Kulcha, you got to play Kulcha. They played the World Cup. I think they played half the World Cup together.
Yep.
One
bad match they had.
It looked, World Cup's probably not their conditions, but India at home, it's their
Gotta
conditions.
be playing them at home.
It's their conditions. Tonight was the time.
Yeah.
It was the conditions to bowl both those guys tonight. Now, yes, it's easy to say that, look, they were a little, Kuldeep was a little bit expensive. Tonight didn't get a wicket, Jadeja didn't get a wicket, but those were the conditions that they both should have played in tonight.
The match report we were talking about with that whole Jadeja run out, that dismissal. So Virat Kohli has said after the match that a player from outside, which is what happened. So when it panned out eventually, you figured that it was a player from the outside, a West Indies player, who saw the replay on television and then signaled to them to get the review done. And Virat, of course, has been scathing, saying that can't happen. That's the same brain fade moment, isn't it?
It is.
That's what the entire brain fade thing was. Right?
Yeah,
you can't have a player, exactly.
Yeah,
You can't have a player from the outside signaling to the captain saying, tell them to take a review, even if it's for a run out. But that just gets us back to the same thing. When umpires, on-field umpires refer every run out appeal, why they didn't do this one, maybe it was just...
the West Indies couldn't call for a review. There wasn't a West Indies.
I think they were just They were just going after the umpire saying, take it, come on.
You should,
Come
can
on,
we have a
brother.
look at it? Can we have a look at it?
Come on, brother.
Yeah, and so I see Virat's point in that. We thought originally that they'd seen it on the big screen, but they had not.
But it was seen on television. By one of the players, and suddenly that changes it, doesn't it?
It does a little bit. Yeah, I mean, he's in the right there. He's in the right. Again, I'll go back to the point that the right decision was made.
But the process was wrong.
Not the correct way.
The way that they got to it was completely wrong.
Yeah. See, we always say this. It's not the destination, it is the journey that matters. It's very important. And the journey must be full of integrity, my young friends. And a lot of you have shown a lot of integrity as you took that journey, that perilous journey, which we called the joy factor. Few survive it, and fewer survive it to tell the tale. But one has today covered himself with glory. I hand it over now to Professor Bhattacharya to take us through this journey. One last time today. Over to you, sir.
Oh, thank you. That was lovely.
Thank you.
But for the first time, I saw that, apparently till about 10 overs back, there wasn't a winner.
Whoa!
So here was the question. What unusual fact connects the first West Indian to score a test century and the batsman who had the maximum centuries for England before Cook? They are Ivan Barrow and Wally Hammond, the only two batsmen dismissed by Bradman in test cricket.
Wow.
It's a real snorter, and I'm not sure anyone has answers it.
Nobody has won it.
Wow!
News for you.
Finally!
You're the winner today.
Finally!
You are the winner.
The house wins.
The house wins.
The house.
Wow.
This, I think, is probably the third time that you've won the joy factor, where he set a question that nobody knows the answer to. In fact, even Google doesn't know the answer to. And it's only right that he does it one day after Rajnikant's birthday. Was it yesterday, Rajnikant's birthday?
Oh, hell yeah. 12 December.
3 days ago?
3 days ago.
Yeah. So, right after Rajnikant's birthday, you have sent us a question that even Google cannot find. It's a bit like when Rajnikant hits you, even Google cannot find you.
In fact, today, 1930 it was, right? It's 30, so it's 89
Today,
years.
1930.
Yeah, so
Today in 1930.
Yeah. Even
Sentences like that begin around me all the time.
Bradman got even Barrow's wicket today.
Today?
89 years.
1930.
89 years ago.
So he only got two test wickets.
22 test wickets.
Just 2 test wickets.
Yeah. It's like Gavaskar, we always remember him. His test wicket is Zahir Abbas.
Correct.
Yeah. And Zahir was so mad at himself.
You're going to get one player out. That's
the one you want
that's
to
the
get.
one you look
in that era.
Yeah.
I think it's not a bad one.
And in India-Pakistan match as well. Yeah.
Well, so today, Joy Bhattacharya has won Joy Factor. And to all of you, as I said, very few survive to tell the tale. But all of you have survived. And you can tell this tale to people. And in fact, tell it to all your friends so that you all come back on the 18th and attempt to answer his question and show him who's boss. Show him, it's you. It's you. You know more than him. No, they don't. Look at his face. It's like
They do.
Today, I don't think we need the car to send him back today. I think he's going to be walking on the clouds and get back home. Straight to the terrace of the hotel. Okay, well, that's all we have time for. It was good, a little laugh in the end. India losing, we needed that laugh in the end.
And then they're going to lose every now and then. You know, that's just...
No! I refuse to admit
West
that.
Indies played well.
They really played well
They
today.
played very
You're going to
well.
give it to them.
Yeah, absolutely.
They really did. Great batting effort by Hope and Hetmyer. Who's your, by the way, interesting question before we wrap up. Who would be your man of the match between Hetmyer and Hope?
Hetmyer.
Hetmyer?
I agree. Because Hope could bat at that pace because Hetmyer was going at such a lick.
Or could Hetmyer bat at that pace because Hope was stuck on one end?
Hopemyer.
Hope yeah.
Hopemyer sounds better than...
Not Head Hope?
Head Hope sounds terrible.
Head Hope. Hopemyer. All right. Well, that's all we have time for. Thank you so much for watching. My 11th Circle presents Cricbuzz Live. A big thank you to Joy Bhattacharya and Simon Doull. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Thank you for being here. Thanks to all of you for watching. I'm Gaurav Kapur saying good night. We'll see you soon.